The issue of the windows at White House Farm is of utmost importance in the case and proves that Jeremy Bamber could not possibly have killed his family. This short video explains why the evidence given by prosecution witnesses about the kitchen window was flawed. We demonstrate how police created a wholly misleading account which implicated Jeremy in the murders of his family. Experiments on this window were conducted by numerous individuals and failed to produce the desired results. Nevertheless, this evidence was still used to convict Jeremy Bamber. A month after the tragedies, Julie Mugford, Jeremy's ex-girlfriend, informed the police that Jeremy had told her a catch on a window could be slipped to gain entry, and that a window could be banged closed after exiting the house to make it appear to be locked. She informed the police that this method of entry and exit had been used by a hitman, Matthew MacDonald, who had been paid by Jeremy to commit the crimes. 3 of the beneficiaries of the Bamber estate, Jeremy's uncle Robert Bowflower and his children David Bowflower and Anne Eaton, all gave evidence to the police that Jeremy must have entered and exited the house using the windows. This was done during their witness statements, 31 documented phone calls and almost as many meetings with police prior to Jeremy's arrest and charge. The daily bombardment of police began on the 8th of August after Jeremy was advised on the content of the wills of his parents, Neville and June Bamber. Jeremy was the sole beneficiary of the estate with his parents, leaving just £100 to David, £250 left to Anne, with £1,000 left to the housekeeper. All other relatives had been excluded from their wills. On arrival at White House Farm in the early hours of the morning of the tragedy on the 7th of August 1985, it was noticed by the police that all of the doors were locked and bolted, and the ground floor windows were closed. At 9:15 a.m, DCI Taft Jones, the senior investigating officer at the scene, checked all of the windows and recorded in his statement, "I entered every room in the house, and on the ground floor all the windows in the house were secure and locked." DCI Ainsley, who later took over the investigation from Jones, also supported this testimony, giving more detail regarding the secure status of the house. He noted, 1. On the arrival of the police, the house was found to be totally secure, with all windows allowing access in the closed and latched position. 2. The front door locked and bolted from the inside. 3. The scullery door bolted on the inside. 4. The rear kitchen door locked from the inside with the key in the inside of the lock. On the morning of the 7th of August 1985, all of the windows at White House Farm were closed and secure apart from the upstairs main bedroom window, which was very slightly open. Robert, Anne and David persisted in advising the police that there must have been a way for Jeremy Bamber to have bolted and secured the house from inside in order to murder his family and escape undetected. During an interview with City of London Police Inquiry in 1991, Robert was questioned about the windows because Jeremy Bamber had made allegations against him regarding his involvement in the fabrication of evidence. An investigation officer stated, "I asked Mr. Bowflower why at such an early stage he'd been concerned about the windows at the farm." Apparently, D.I. Miller had discounted theories of persons entering or leaving by the windows, saying that police sophisticated equipment had not detected such tampering. This apparently fired Mr. Bowflower to ponder the problem and consequently his great interest. On the face of it, it seems Robert, who benefited financially from the estate after Jeremy Bamber's conviction, did not like hearing that there was no evidence that anyone had exited the house on the night of the tragedies. In 1985, Anne gave evidence that the experiments she and her father conducted on the windows were reported to D.C. Barlow, and she said in her statement that D.C. Barlow told her that she may have to show the police how this was done. According to his witness statement dated 21st of November 1985, D.C. Barlow recorded that the window could appear to be locked upon closing if it was banged so that the catch fell into place. On the 22nd of August, and unaccompanied by any other police officer or a scenes of crime officer, Barlow went to White House Farm and proceeded to conduct experiments on the kitchen window by opening it, slamming it shut from the outside, and banging repeatedly on the window frame. He recorded, "I found that the metal catch was slightly stiff and when fully opened stuck in the open position. Therefore, because the window catch was stiff, it is highly unlikely that even if the window was banged, the catch would have fallen into place sufficiently for the window to appear fixed in the position which is clearly shown on the photographs taken at the scene on the morning of the tragedies." In 2002, D.C. Barlow admitted that no authority had been given by any senior officer for this experiment to take place, and subsequently he told the Metropolitan Police, "The officer who was in charge of the investigation at that stage, DCI Jones, had been unaware of my going to the farm and conducting the tests. When he found out, he gave me a proper dressing down. He was angry that issues were still being investigated." D.C. Barlow was not forensically trained and should have passed the examination of the kitchen window to a specialist scenes of crime officer to conduct. He did not take photographs of his experiments, nor did he have anyone with him to collaborate what experiments were actually conducted, or detail what he actually did with this window. It is evident that the jury at Jeremy's trial was misled about the position of the catches on the kitchen window. Firstly, they were shown a photograph taken on the morning of the tragedies, taken at an angle which appears to show the kitchen window catch in the 7 o'clock position, and therefore not fully secure. We now know this was simply a matter of perspective, as a further image taken at the crime scene in the same sequence of shots, disclosed in 2011, shows the same window from a head-on stance. This image clearly shows that the side window latch is completely deployed in the vertical position. Secondly, during evidence at the trial, D.C. Barlow stated that the horizontal catch along the windowsill could not be attached to the securing peg from the outside. This should have caused the jury to question the whole of the evidence put before them regarding this window. However, the crime scene photographs taken that morning that were shown to them don't depict the bottom catch at all. Yet we know that it must have been securely fastened into its closed position because DCI Ainsley said that all windows allowing access were in the closed and latched position. Jeremy Bamber could not and did not exit the house using the kitchen window. It was impossible for all the window catches to be secured from the outside of the house as they were when the police entered. During his summing up at trial, the judge, Lord Justice Drake, stated to the jury, "How he got there and out again, whether by the kitchen window or any other means, though of interest, cannot affect the outcome of this case." This is wholly misleading because if Jeremy Bamber did not enter or exit the house on the night of the tragedies through any of the locked and bolted doors, nor did he enter or exit by means of the closed and secure windows, the only person who could have been responsible for the tragic deaths was still in the house when Jeremy and the police first arrived at the scene. This person was Sheila Caffell.